press play and let's get it in. Cause we rockin' with the fighter and he rollin' with the kids. Fighter and the kids, fighter and the kids, fighter and the kids.
Yeah! Yo! Hey, my girl and I started that show.
Oh, you talking about couples therapy?
Couples therapy.
Isn't it great when your friends put you on good shows?
Yes! This is good.
Yeah.
It's not a reality show. It's like a documentary, like
series. 10-part series.
10-part series.
Follows several couples through their like therapy. Some of them off the bat, like, just separate.
Yeah. Some of them off the bat, you're like, yo.
Okay. If they don't have kids, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Bro, that one dude is so, the black couple.
Oh, that guy who sells insurance?
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
He's great. He starts laughing.
Yeah, he's all
because they go
laughing and crying.
Well, no, he's not crying because they go, well, because she's real mean all the time, I guess.
Mean.
And he's like I'll be good. He's like I help everything out for like 6 days, and Sunday comes, I do one thing, I'll take out the trash. He's like, she's just mean to me.
Yeah.
And then the therapist is like, well, what if on that 7th day you tried and didn't mess up? He goes, dude, laughs like belly laugh. And he goes, oh, that's a good one. He goes, nah, man, she like this no matter what.
But she is, because like, he goes,
That's the Puerto Rican girl, right?
I don't know if she's Puerto Rican, but yeah, I think so, yeah.
She's the one that got punched in the face.
Yeah. But he was like, he goes, I'm at work, she'll call. I don't answer, she'll call again. Call again, and then next thing you know, I get a text message. And then she goes, you know, all these CEOs, you know, they'll answer their wife's calls. He goes, I'm not a CEO.
Yeah, he goes, I want to be.
I want to be a CEO. He goes, I'm just fucking regular.
Dude, how about the lesbian couple with the transgender?
Yes, and the lesbian couple.
Yeah,
lesbian couple.
Super interesting.
Bro, they are pretty interesting.
Because I don't know anything about their world. So when they fight, you know, just like any other couple. And the one had bottom surgery, and she was a man.
Was a
full-blown woman.
Yeah.
But she's the earner. She makes all the money.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that girl on the left, and she holds it over her head.
Yes.
It's so interesting.
And the girl on the left wants to have a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
The homegirl,
the girl on the left want to have a baby.
Yeah.
The yellow.
Transgendered is saying, let's, you know, like she just transitioned, transitioning. She goes, I don't know if I'm ready to be a mom yet.
She's like, I just figuring shit out.
And so she thinks she's being selfish, which I'm like, all right, hey, ease the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm with homegirl on the right.
Yeah, I'm with the homegirl on the right.
She's a new mom.
Yeah, I get that. That's pretty logical. It's like, hey, you know, I just transitioned. It's
like, chill.
Yeah, it's like, chill.
How good is that therapist?
The therapist dope. And here's the dope thing about the therapist. She goes to a therapist.
And they show her talking to her therapist.
What?
Yeah, she goes to like the head honcho.
But it makes so much sense because to be able to deal with the shit that she has to
need to release your problem.
She's got to release.
She has to talk to somebody. This lady's been doing it longer than her.
And so that lady
I just feel like I have so much power over these people and it's draining.
Yes. Oh man, there's this one couple, the guy he wants to have sex every day.
He has a problem.
He's like,
he goes, I don't see a problem with it. He goes, I want to have sex every day. I mean, we eat, we drink, we sleep, and I want sex every day. It's just normal to do that.
From the same girl?
Oh yeah.
Bro, she tried to surprise him with some dope sex, like fun, set up and everything for his birthday, and he was mad about it. Why? Because he was like, well, it's only for my birthday. Why can't this be all the time? Yeah. And it's like, this fucking asshole.
He's difficult.
Ungrateful. He's kind of
smart.
He's so smart.
Yeah.
That's the thing about him.
Him and the therapist will go back and forth, and he kind of sticks it to her. And then before they go in, she's like, "Will you please be nice?" He's like,
"Yeah."
I love him. That's me, my girl. Yes, I love him. Before we go anywhere, my girl's like, "Will you please be cool?" I'm fucking trying, man. Someone says something stupid, I can't help but jump in. I can't hold my tongue now. She's like, "We're at my family's dinner. Yeah. No roasting."
Oh, dude, what about the other couple? There's like a third couple. I think, the Mexican couple?
Yeah, probably Jamaican or Puerto Rican out there in New York.
Oh, they're out in New York? Oh, okay.
But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, you feel me. You feel me.
What's happening?
With them, because he's completely,
he's the bottom left.
But that couple, the one with the guy,
the one with the eyes closed.
The New York hat?
With the girl in the yellow shirt, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, them.
They break up. Spoiler, but they
Spoiler.
It's not spoiler because they announced in the first episode.
In the first episode.
They broke up, so it shows their last day of therapy, and then it backtracks.
But one of her things was
How long have they been together?
he works in fashion, right? Okay, here's this thing. Boom.
Doesn't look like it, but he does.
Yeah, I guess he works in fashion.
Okay.
And I know with the fucking blue V.
Well, that's big in New York, though.
Okay, but he works in fashion. He works around a lot of women, right? And so sometimes, like after work, they'll go have an outing.
So, like dump it in.
Yeah, and she don't fuck with that, because
She don't want to go anywhere.
She don't want to go anywhere.
Does he invite her?
No, it's just like he's just with his coworkers. It's like if we
go in and got food after this,
that's what he's doing, and she doesn't.
It's predominantly women around him.
Yeah, because he's in fashion, and she doesn't trust him or whatever.
Okay. And so do you and your girl watch it and like you can pick up tips like
how dude, it's so funny.
My girl like a guy say something like.
Well, he said
some of it.
It's like okay. The thing about me is like, I was in cheerleading.
I got you.
I had so many friends that are women. Yeah. Like literally, there was times I was the only dude on the fucking team.
I would hope so. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
On the football team, I have a lot of male friends.
Exactly. So that's just my world. So I talk to so many of them. Because a lot of my friends.
They're all baddies, to be fair.
And yes, they are.
Help if they're all trolls.
Yeah, they're all trolls. Like oh yeah, go fucking hang out with her.
Super bad.
But they're all super bad. Yeah. So it's like tough. So I have to explain every girl. And I don't mind doing it. It's like I get it.
She trusts you though.
Yeah, she trusts me though. But like if she was to act like homegirl right there,
that's wouldn't make it.
We wouldn't make it. I'd go fucking crazy. But I don't like. That's where I find the compromise of just explaining like, oh, this is such and such.
I know her.
Here's the history of this. Because I'm always like, it would have fucking happened already.
Yeah. Knowing you right now, hell yeah.
Yeah, it would have fucking happened. Yeah. It would have happened. You know what I mean? But it didn't. But I don't know. It's just, and I get it. Like most straight dudes aren't just like strictly friends with like a bunch of women. It'd be tough. It'd be tough. Especially
I have a couple.
Yeah, I got a couple.
The limit should be 3.
Man, I got like,
he has like 50.
Yeah.
Chappelle's a unicorn.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like a straight guy because he was in cheerleading.
But that's just what my world was for fucking 12 years.
And now he's getting in shape.
Yeah,
y'all looking good. Like guns. Y'all looking good, bro. We worked out 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row. Bro, Mark Harley with us.
Yeah. He's basically our trainer, huh?
I know, right? Yeah.
He just formed in our trainer.
Yeah.
It's weird because we get there early in the morning and be like, what do you guys think about doing? Like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And he'll be like, I think.
Yeah.
And that's basically writes the workout. And then y'all just follow it. Yeah. He's a beast.
Dude, he is strong as fuck.
Chappelle hit 225. I know. I hit 225 as well. Yep. Yeah.
He did.
Keep looking at that. And by the way, 190.
190?
Yeah, 190.
You sure?
Jay doesn't believe it. Jay didn't believe I can.
Wait, because you were 185.
I was 185.
On the scale?
Yep. Oh yeah, 5 pounds.
Yeah, 5 pounds. I believe that.
But why was Jay saying 20? In the group chat, Jay's like, I find it hard to believe you gained 20 pounds in a month. Well, because January when I started this fitness journey, I was 153. Oh yeah, I think you're right there now. What? You're 153. You're 190 now. Yeah, in January. Oh no. In January, you put on 40 pounds in 2 months. Bro, well, listen, I gained. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait until I guess good. No, yeah. Because he's gonna be like, what? Okay. Bradley's gonna be like, no, dude. Bro, I was follow you. Even if you're on gear, running like heavy amounts of gear, it'd be damn near literally impossible. We saw the scale. I don't think you start off at 153. Yeah, I was so skinny, bro. Yeah, you're 180.
No, like
that's fine. I wasn't 180.
You was 170. I would give him 170.
I was not. You put on 10. Okay. All right. You put on 10. I'm trying to tell you. Hold on. Let me see. 153. 153, bro. I'm an ectomorph. You all that teasing and stuff like that. You're not a 170 ectomorph. I was 153. You saw me. I can't wait for Bradley to sit down there. And you guys are gonna look like the number 01. No. It'd be 10 if you're sitting here. You look like 01, like a race car. Are you 01? He's jacked. He is? He told me a story how y'all was lifting. Oh, we'll talk about it when he gets there. Okay. But yeah, 40 pounds. Yeah,
listen, I want to believe you. Bro,
I didn't gain.
I want to believe you.
That never happened.
Listen, I love you to death. You might ride it back.
The big bitches on 600 pounds lives don't gain 40 pounds. The big fat one put on 30 in like 6 months. She was all sad. She got the scale. She got the scale talking to the doctor.
Yeah, it is fucked up. It is
She gave 30. She was like, oh. He was like, how's the diet been going? She's like, really good. You don't have a secret. He's like, let's get you on the scale. She put on 30. He's all, ooh. That poor doctor. He's all,
and I laugh in his throat. This fucking.
oh, you know what else? I'm on episode 2 of the Takashi doc. It's so much better than that Hulu one. That Showtime Takashi doc.
No, the best thing about the Hulu one is when he made the music video of him.
They show that. They also show him getting head too in the Showtime one.
Oh, they show that.
Yeah, they show that
in a music video.
Yeah, because he was doing wild shit just to gain traction. So he was doing that, posted DDT, posted bitches, all this stuff. But then what the funniest part about episode 2, it shows how he was getting involved in Treyway, and then the real Treyway gangster, I forget his name, launched the record company, right? And then he assigned other gang members like this man and stuff like that. Well, that man just started feeling himself because he was like in all the videos.
Yeah, the ballhead guy.
Yeah, he was like in all the videos and took control. Then he stopped, like he got Takashi away from the original Treyway.
Shoddy, right?
Yeah, Shoddy.
Got him. That was in jail, right?
Yeah, he was in jail. Yeah, so he got him out of the contract with the original Treyway. Started his own Treyway productions. And it's funny to watch these hardcore Treyway gangsters. Like, yeah, man, it's just not cool, man. Like he's like, you know, it's just
what he did.
They're hurt. Yeah, they're like hurt. Yeah, they're like it's just not the way we operate.
So Takashi wasn't in the gang at first. It wasn't until
he was co-signed. No, when he went in the game at first, and then the leader, one of the leaders, Treyway, got out of prison. Was like, I'm gonna launch a record company, and then met Takashi. And then when he met Takashi, they kind of they brought him in as their own. Like he was basically Treyway because he was fucking with us, and I brought him to my mom's house.
Yeah,
but it's funny to watch. Like you always think gangsters don't mess around like real people, but. He's like, yeah, I'm at my mom's house, man. Yeah, like all this. You feel bad for these gangsters.
Yeah, because they put time in that.
Yeah, they're like, he shared bread with my mom, man. Yeah, they're like sad about it.
Sounds sad.
You know, they also showed the actual video. Remember when he gets kidnapped in the car?
Yeah.
They have video from the limo, the actual car he gets kidnapped in.
I remember because they showed that in the Hulu.
The movie, did they really?
Yeah.
The video, the guy
It wasn't
just the actual video. They're driving.
Oh, what's up?
What's up, dog? Oh, damn, dog. Oh, gifts? It just got a lot more media in here. Yeah, you can set outside.
Bro, hold on, man. No, I'm ready for that.
I gave you a size, dog.
You gave my shit? Okay.
You ain't gonna fit, but
What'd you come around with?
double X top, XL bottom.
Oh, damn.
But they're big. They're made for 50.
The James Harden jersey came in. Are you still double X?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'll get it.
Yeah.
It's the black one?
Black one.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that took forever.
Yeah, it took forever, but oh no, didn't it originally say it was gonna come in March?
Yeah, I totally forgot about it.
You forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about it. I forgot about it. I got a good memory.
Yeah, I forgot. I was like, oh shit, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's dope. Why the fuck did I get a double X?
Oh, shit, it reminded me of that dumbass bet. What was the bet? You can't even remember the bet.
The Super Bowl, right?
The Super Bowl.
No,
Saints. Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah.
Well, because the original, the Irving old school one was for the bet on
the boxing. Yeah.
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. And then this one
was for the Saints to go to Super Bowl.
And you know, I hated this one. I don't know why you
feel bad for you.
Yeah. But yeah, bro, I'm happy. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel like you're doing good. You get to 190. 190, bro. Yeah, 10 pounds away. And
when Valley sits down, I want you to tell me you put on 40 pounds.
I'm gonna come right now.
Come on in, dog.
What up, bro?
Yeah, you're right here, man. Yeah, come on, man. What's up, big dog? How you doing?
See you, brother, as always.
Missed you at the gym this morning?
Yeah.
We were there bright and early. That's all you. This place is crazy. Today's episode with Bradley Martin is brought to you by the Kratom X. I gotta find something else. So now and you know, my uncle was get off. I think what really good to know. You left. You guys are doing it for real. That's getsuperleaf.com, promo code FIGHTER. That's all you. This place is crazy. This is wow. I'm really impressed. Thanks, man. You guys are doing it for real. Yeah, man. Yeah. But you guys have a little podcast area too, right?
I had one in the gym, but I stopped doing the podcast and I do them at my house now. I haven't done them consistently for some time, so I'm a little bit ashamed.
Yeah, you gotta be consistent. Well, you're putting out YouTube videos.
Yeah,
you kind of dominate that YouTube world.
Yeah, I've been doing YouTube stuff for years now. But this honestly is one of my favorite mediums.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you learn the most about people. Like, cause everyone, like, we all, like, for example, I do workout, everyone does their thing. Yeah. But this is the kind of like spot where you really get to know someone.
Correct.
I think that's where you really develop a real connection.
Yeah, I think so for the listeners, I think just to kick it off, I think what I'm so grateful for you because you know, I grew up in football and fighting stuff like that, and I've been in gyms all my life. And then, you know, my uncle was Mr. Universe. I grew up in Venice in the summers as a kid, so gold was like my mecca. Yeah, man. So my aunt was Mrs. Universe, so like I love that bodybuilding world and like working out, and that was my thing since I was 6 to my mid-20s. And then, you know, I retired and I was just like, man, I've been doing that all my life. Like, I gotta find something else. So then I got into biking, so I've been biking a ton. And then I'd hit up my trainer at Boxing in Santa Monica. We hit mitts and do like a circuit workout. Yeah. And even that, I was, God, I'm so fucking over this, man. I'm just gonna keep riding my bike. But I wasn't getting that great a shape. Like, I like to be, you know, kind of fit. And then Chappelle was like, hey, man, people keep hitting me up saying there's this gym in Woodland Hills, which is, you know, my stomping grounds. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I know about it. He's like, no, I'm telling you. Someone said you need to go up there. And I go, well, send me the name of it. You know, it's Zoo Gym. And I'm like, Zoo Culture. And I'm like, okay. And then, you know, I don't see stuff on social media. So I go, hey, look up the profile Chappelle sent to me. He sent me like, that's in Woodland Hills? He's like, yeah, dog, and they're open during the pandemic. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I see you as the owner. I go on YouTube, and then originally I'm like, is he like one of those, you know what, you meet some guys, like, you see one of those guys who seems like cool, has shit together, and you meet him like a total tool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so heartbreaking. Like when you see people on camera, you meet them and you know, I don't know, you just be a dick. And so I get our conversation. This is our conversation. So I get to the gym and they're like, bro, take the mask off. What are you doing? I was like, really? No, yeah, what the fuck you doing? So then the guy at the front, and then you come around, and I'm like, oh shit, that's the owner there. And you like start talking. I'm like, he's a down ass dude.
Yeah, I felt like I was talking to myself.
Yeah, you and I was going back. We vibe right away, and I was like, oh, this is my home. I came home, man.
You know what's crazy too, man? I'm working on buying a warehouse right around the corner. Like a crazy big warehouse, like 30,000 square feet. I'm gonna make the gym crazy.
You're making it even bigger.
Yeah. So the gym that I'm in now is 7,500 square feet. The warehouse that we're looking at is 30,000.
Shit. And but here's what's crazy is you could definitely use the space because like on certain days you go in there and it's
It's definitely
everybody. We joke about it. Everybody and shit. Like me and him are the ugliest people in the gym.
Yeah.
And that was true. And I've accepted that. And you know what? It motivates me.
It really does. Real talk, like being in that gym, in the difference of like other gyms that I've been to.
Yeah.
There's just something about the energy in Jew culture where I'm like, man, I feel it. You know, I want to like do it. It makes me want to do it because I don't come from weightlifting. I was a competitive cheerleader. Like that's what I did.
Yeah.
And but you know, can't cheer forever. So once I quit, you know, I needed to find something. And I would just go to these gyms, but it wasn't like, it just didn't hit right. Yeah. But I don't know, like this is the first time I've ever felt where I've gone to the gym and it like hit right.
Like somebody had a shirt off there. Like two guys had their shirt off today, and I'm like, y'all work out with Chuck? Hell no. I look at Chappelle. When they take my shirt off. When they had their shirt, you don't want to take your shirt off. You don't want to take. They're like, is this make a wish? Does he have cancer? Dude, he said need some milk. Yeah. Is he malnourished? Someone give him a protein bar, man. No, I'm telling you, I look at Chappelle. I'm like, can you imagine taking your shirt off? And they're just like, that dude. Yeah, fat kid. Well, yesterday we were working out, and I've been benching years. Flat bench, I've been benching years. Okay. So his boy Mark, shout out to handsome ass Mark, he's distractingly handsome. We're benching. I'm like, I guess I'll bench. I was nervous. Mark's strong as fuck.
You hadn't benched in a long time, huh?
Years, dude. A flat bench. I can't tell you last time I did a flat bench. I'm not around flat benches. And Mark's like, Mark's like, you want to do 225? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what did you do in college? I'm like 26. So we got in there. We knocked out 15. And then he goes, you want to do 315? I was like, I guess, dude. You guys were filming. I was like, I guess, man. And he puts 315 on. I do it, I think, 4 or 5 times.
So you got 6.
Yeah, I did 6.
Strong, though.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, 6 solid. But then you're like, oh, cool. You guys are doing 315? No, but not like me. And you're just like, oh, you guys are lifting 315? I go, yeah, dog. You trying to get on there?
Chest. To be fair, I was like hitting chest and arms, and I was like, oh, that's already loaded. I was warmed up. I was like, let me jump in.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll probably get like 8 or 9.
How many do you do?
14. What? Like he could have did like 20.
You could have done so. I was like, he could have done way.
But but he's really, he was like, God, you guys doing good, man. He was so positive. So positive. I looked at Chappelle. I'm like, let's get the fuck out.
So positive.
Now to the listeners, that's 345s on each side. Okay, 315. And you matched that 6.
But yeah, man, you 6. Yeah, you created a solid environment.
No, it's crazy, like, because that had always been the goal, and it's a place definitely where people are, whether they're like super like-minded on like their exact goal, like there's people who want to be bodybuilders or like fitness influencers or you know work on CrossFit or be powerlifters, right? But whether or not they're like on the same path, people seem to really like help each other and like help, like for example, like there'll be bodybuilders who like maybe need a better bench press, and there's powerlifters who like, why don't you try this, why don't you try that? Instead of like dividing and conquering, it's more like let's all
There's
work
none of that. And the other thing too is like if you go to other gyms I won't mention, it's like, you know, it's tough to say, but you know, I'll get harassed a little bit, like asking fighting questions. Like I'm basically doing a podcast every time I work out. There, nobody fucks with me. Like they're again,
everybody's there to fucking work out.
Like everyone's there to work out, or they have their own shit popping.
Yeah.
Like you always see some swole dude and the other dudes filming it. Like everyone's in their own world doing their own shit.
Yeah.
They have a goal to achieve. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, everyone's for sure on their own path, and it's a cool environment because like when you're around and you see other people striving to like be better, it makes you be like, I want to work a little bit harder. And then at the same time, when you have people who like, you know, like if you're there long enough, you'll see kind of the same people, and it's not like a weird like, oh, I'm stronger, I'm bigger, I'm whatever than you. Like it seems more approachable. You can ask them questions and like they're more than like.
Oh, they give me tips all the time.
Yeah. So I'm glad you guys see that, man. You guys, I know you guys haven't been there for that long, but the longer you're there, the better. And I really hope I can finish this deal with that new building because it's gonna be great.
Man, we might be neighbors. I'm looking at studio space over there too. Oh shit! We gotta expand these wings.
This stuff's crazy though.
Yeah,
this is like a whole compound. Like, obviously we're just in this room and that's what they see.
But we shoot like I shoot my Showtime shows in the front there, and then we have the whole bay here where they edit stuff. We shoot shows back there.
How long have you been doing podcasts?
Like podcasts in general?
Yeah.
Almost 8 years now.
Damn, that's like old.
Yeah. So almost a decade.
Yeah.
Well, 8 was...
That was way before it was popular.
Yeah, when the first podcast I ever did was Fighting the Kid with Brian Town, we did that before everyone freaking Stepmom had a podcast. Like, we were kind of the first, like, duo to do it. Because before us, there's, like, Marin and Rogan and a lot of people. As far as, like, comedy duo, like, especially with a former athlete and a comic, we were, like, the first. Now there's a ton. And they're great, too. Like,
and you were telling me how when you first got into it, how you said, you said that, like, you...
when I was fighting,
you got more interaction.
Yeah, like I remember I was fighting Andre Arlovsky, and then especially at the time there wasn't a Reebok deal in the UFC, so I was always the guy that made a lot of money off endorsements. And then me and Brian would start doing podcast merch. I made an Abbott Kinney Fight Club shirt. It was like a wild card boxing shirt that said Abbott Kinney with a traffic tip on it. Fight Club, it was ridiculous. And Abbott Kinney, you've never been in California, it's like the most like posh neighborhoods, or it's a fight club in these posh neighborhoods that we just made up. And it was a group of comics that we always hung around and got coffee. I'm like, go with Abbott Kinney Fight Club. So I made that shirt, and then my manager was like, hey, I got this deal for $50,000 for Echo or Venom or something. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to rock my own shit. And he's like, I tried to bad idea. I'm like, nah, I'm going to rock my own shit, man. And then I was like the first one to rock my own shirt, and then I walked out and the shirt fucking flew off the shelf.
Damn. So yeah, because you were telling me you got more almost like engagement from like your audience of people who are watching and listening from like podcasting than you did from the fighting.
Yeah, I had no clue. You know, the hats off to Brian, because he's the one that wanted to do the podcast. And then, yeah, I was going to the airport to Vancouver to fight Andre Arlovsky, and the TSA was like, oh, what's up, Big Brown? They call me like nicknames from the podcast, not fighting. Like, oh, what's up, Big Brown? Oh, what's up, Big Boy? And I'm like, what? And they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, don't you know? Like, I'm going, look at my social media. I'm going to fight Andre Arlovsky. Like, for real? I'm like, yeah, how do you know me? They're like, oh, we're Fighting the Kid fans, man. I'm like, what? Yeah, so it's just started to like, I'm like, ah, man, this might be what I need to focus on.
Yeah. And did you like just focus on it fully, or you were like?
I was like 1 foot in, but I was always like, you know, fighters really weren't doing it. I was talking about the process of like training camp and the nerves, and the guy I was fighting like on the podcast leading up to the fight. Okay. So then people are rallying behind me because they listen to me on this instead of just a countdown video, which I did those, but they would listen to this, so they cared more about me. And then eventually, you know, again, it's early stage podcasting. Even checks from advertising on the podcast. I got beat up by Travis Brown my last fight. And then I got the check for getting punched in the face, and I got the check for being funny on the podcast. I was like, well, this one's bigger. I want to do this. Yeah. I'll see you later.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. Thank God. You've always wanted to own a gym?
Yeah, man. Since I was a kid, I didn't think it was going to be like, truthfully, when I first was opening this gym, I was opening this gym Zoo Culture because I was getting kicked out of other gyms because the kind of content I was doing was just kind of like random, or like, you know, I was lifting girls and doing kind of crazy shit, and I would get kicked out of gyms a lot. And so I started to get a big social media following, and I was like, oh, I'm going to open a gym. And originally when I was a kid, I thought I was going to open a gym and open like just a training studio, because I didn't know that social media was going to be a thing when I was growing up. It wasn't a thing, right? I'm 31. So when I was like 15, 16, 17, I thought, oh, I want to maybe move to LA and like train celebrities and like have like a box, maybe like a little bit bigger than this.
Like a private studio.
And train people. Yeah, and then over the years of like doing social media and like engaging, interacting like in person and online, but mostly from in person, like going to these big conventions, expos, and meeting people and talking to people, and realizing like because I was kind of unique in that I didn't just make fitness content where I was like work out and do these sets and reps. I kind of made content where I would talk a little bit more about like my life and where I've been in my past and my childhood, and like how it's kind of gotten me to where I was at that time. Then when I was making the content, and then I haven't done as much of it in the past like years, maybe 2 years, but I do it every so often to talk about where I'm at currently. But I basically got to a point where I was talking to people in person. I was like, well, these people, when they would go like, there'd be like massive lines when I go like to Arnold or the Olympia, like I would stand there all day and take photos for like hours. The lines would be like miles long. And I realized like the reason why people really fuck with me wasn't necessarily because like I was like the cool Jack guy. They were like, we saw that, but then like I saw this video and you know, I didn't kill myself because the way you talked about this.
Yeah, there's something in them that they see in you, and you've gotten to a certain point where that's why they fuck with you.
So the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I was like, I'm gonna open a gym to make content, and just for that, like I was really gonna open up that space just to shoot my own content because I was gonna kick that out of other gyms, and to like invite influencers to shoot content with me. And then I was like, well, why don't I just open up? Because I realized like how I got there was because of all these people who had supported me over the years. I was like, I want to have a place where I can meet them. And then it was like for like 2.5 years straight, like people there, and it's still today. But I remember for like 2.5 years straight, every day there was someone there from like North Dakota, China, Wisconsin, Australia, to talk to me. To just come and see
that's because someone, it was I can't remember the dude's name, but it was someone from Canada that reached out to me about your gym. That's how I found out about it. But someone from Canada was like, yo, you need to check out this gym. And I think the person was also like into bodybuilding and stuff. And he's like, yo, if you guys are looking for something in LA, because that's what we were talking about the whole time. It's like, he's got to work out at home or something like that. And then
you know his name? Shout out to that guy.
Right? I gotta find it. And he listens to the pod, so he'll probably reach out to me.
Think about it, like probably 3-4 months ago, Chappelle was like, I gotta do something, man. I have weights at my house. I gave him 1 kettlebell.
Yeah, I know.
Is that what just bringing the weights at the house?
Like 1 kettlebell and a jump rope.
It's 1 kettlebell.
And all I had was deadlift at my house.
Just a platform
and a bike. Yeah, that's it. So I was just doing the deadlift like 5 times a week.
What I wanted to say was like, the thing, like knowing your story, knowing about you, that's what I thought was cool. Like, you know, you use like these traumatic things in your life to push you. And I've always been inspired by stuff like that, because, you know, I mean,
you have a similar story.
So it's like, oh damn, it's like when you see someone, especially because I'm not too familiar with the workout world, and then you know, to jump into it, it is a little intimidating, even though I'm a bigger dude, and you know, people just think I could just naturally do, but it still is a little intimidating.
Of course.
So, but like, you know, to hear your story and learn about you, like, it's just like, oh, now I have this, like, you know, comfort, and you know, I feel a lot more comfortable to go in and like do something. I don't feel like,
you know what it represents.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I told Chappelle once I looked you up, I was like, hey, you know, and this isn't a mean way. I was like, hey, you know, he grew up without a dad, man. Chappelle's like, well, I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah. So, you know, Chappelle did too. So there's like, you know, I don't think, you know, that's a special, should he say, fraternity. When you guys, you know, growing up without a father, they're definitely a special fraternity. You know, I can't imagine. So, you know,
but to see someone that like
succeeds after that,
because that's a rarity. Like, you know, like not too many people make it out of that. You know what I mean? People, it's a fucking rarity. So to see someone with the success, you know, doing it, it's just dope.
Yeah,
it's just fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful, man. It's crazy because like I'm not gonna get emotional, but I talked about it. I don't know how. I didn't know enough. I don't know how your dad. You just didn't grow up without a father.
He was in prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously my circumstance is a little different. Like my father took his life when I was young, when I was 6, and it's crazy because when I think about it, like, oh shit,
you good, brother?
It was almost like, you know how you say most people don't make it out of it?
Yeah.
Fuck. It's okay. It was almost as if kind of like I didn't, because like when you think about a father figure is someone who like leads you, right? Shows you like how to do it, where to go.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it shows you where to go.
Yeah, he's like the leader.
Yeah. So for some reason, I don't know, when I was really young, like I always thought so much about like what I wanted to do with my life and where I wanted to go, like, because I was so caught up in like what happened to my father and like why did he do that? Because of the way he passed. And it started me very early on thinking about my life and like like I said, what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, and also got me kind of like a little bit scared and afraid of death. And it's been like a big anxiety in my life, my whole life. But the beautiful thing that I learned out of all this from spending so much time thinking about like what did I want to do, was that at the same time I realized I didn't have the guidance. I realized that there was no box. There was no like,
There's no blueprint.
There was like, this is what you should do. I didn't have someone saying, because my mom always really trusted me to make good decisions, because for a whole host of reasons, I guess I was just a kid making good decisions. I mean, I made a lot of dumb ones as well, but she trusted me to make decisions, and that allowed me, at least my perspective, to see where like no one kind of told me what to do, even though a lot of times in my life I was looking for like coaches and like friends, parents, and older mentors. Like when I first got in the gym and really fell in love with the gym, someone that I met when I was 17, and I was like, I really like deeply fell in love with training, because like there was a person there who like was like a father figure to me, who pushed me, who taught me a lot, who helped me get stronger, helped me get better in the gym. And that's when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, right? But I think if I had a parent, I'm not saying, it's great to have a parent, it's great to have a role model. I think my biggest blessing was being able to see it differently than like why me, and more like, okay, like let me figure this out for myself, and there's no structure to where or who or what I have to be. I can just do what makes me happy.
And you have to figure it out on your own a little bit there.
So yeah, I mean, like that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I just try to make it a good thing, and I tried to look for influence, like I said, in coaches and football and like sports, or like I said, friends, family members, and use that to like kind of like teach myself what I wasn't being taught otherwise, right?
You have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so I have a brother, I have a stepbrother, and a stepsister, and I have a stepfather. He's a great person. He's a little bit of a distant relationship. It wasn't like
How old were you when your mom married you?
That was like a year and a half or 2 years after my father passed away.
It's tough.
So, but there wasn't like great man, great person. It just wasn't. It wasn't super close, because, I mean, he had his kids, and like he was focused on this, and like I know he had issues like with their stepmom and like all this stuff. So there was a lot going on. But again, great human. Just it wasn't ever like super close, and that was just kind of his character as a human.
Yeah.
He wasn't very like, oh, let me show you how and this and that.
Because I was father and son,
and I was also like 6, 7. Like, I'm getting older, 6, 7, 8. So it's like maybe he came in and was like a different dynamic than if I was like 2.
Yeah. And he also has his own kids to focus on too.
Yeah. But probably didn't know what to do.
But man, like the crazy thing though, like this whole story that I'm telling you, like I was able to, I truly believe now, like it took me years and years to realize this, like 20 years basically, because I realized this when I was 26, 31 now, but this was like right when all my stuff started to really take off. And like I said, I talked to these people at expos. That's when it really clicked, and I was like, oh, all this shit, like that shit that I went through, like makes sense now.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's tough, man.
Yeah, it's still tough to talk about. I apologize.
No, you don't apologize.
No,
It's just like, this is what we do.
No, I can't imagine. You talk about how you're scared of death and stuff. I think, again, it's fucking awful and so traumatic what happened to you and your father. But I think it's also a blessing that you realize, how fragile life is. For me, it didn't happen until I had kids. Then the world's terrifying. Yeah, so you learned that lesson, unfortunately, super early on.
Yeah. I just remember, like, dude, I would think about that shit, like, every day. Yeah. I remember I'd be very, like, I'd have friends, and of course, but, like, I'd like, walk to school, and I would, like, just spend time every morning, like, just, like, replaying this shit in my head. Like, what's the point of this? Like, why am I here? Like, how am I going to die? Like, I was always afraid of it. And, yeah, it's still stuck with me today, but I mean, ultimately, like, I'm grateful for everything, and I just remind myself more and more, and I've learned more and more over the years, of, like, it's just about, like, our time here is just about this. It's like, sharing, giving, showing love, like, because there's nothing, like, say you got all the money in the world, you have everything in the world, all the cars, everything, it's like, and then you die, like, the thing that lives on is, like, how someone remembers you, or the thing that you taught, or the things you showed someone else.
I think you'll be a beast of a papa, too, man, once you eventually do it.
I can't wait.
But he's so positive. I mean, bro, we talked for an hour.
I know, right? Yeah, he's
God damn, bro. Basically the same guy. Yeah, same thing. He's just in way better shape.
Bro, I'm looking at him like, I got a question for you. You know that meme where Spider-Man's like this? When I walked in, I was like, we're talking merch, all business and stuff. Yeah. Oh.
Just immediate, yeah. It's good vibes.
Where are you from, bro?
San Francisco.
I love that thing.
Yeah. Born and raised.
Born and raised?
Yeah. I went to an all-boys high school. Breathing. I was supposed to breathing.
How was that?
It was different. But then I didn't know anything else, right? Like, it's not like I went to a regular high school.
I saw pictures of you when you were young. You weren't like a big, like I wouldn't be like, oh, he's a genetic freak. No, I was like, now I'm like, oh, he's a genetic freak.
Yeah, I was skinny.
Yeah, you're a skinny dude.
Yeah, tall, skinny.
Yeah, and then you just started working, like you got into basic bodybuilding, type of bodybuilding, like doing what the physique.
Yeah, I did like the first physique shows in 2011, like when it first came out.
Now it's popping, but back then you were the guy in board shorts.
Yeah, like right when it first came out. And
so you guys know, like during on the Vitamin world, there was like, you know, when you think of Vitamin, you think of Mr. Olympia. Well, there's different levels. There's different categories. Yeah. So there's like physique where they're not like if you think of like Ronnie Coleman's not physique, that's Mr. Olympia. When they're like beefy,
bodybuilding, classic physique now, men's physique, and then like bikini. I know they canceled a lot of classes. I'm not sure if they still do the women's like bodybuilding. I think it's women's fitness.
Yeah.
There's like different levels of like muscularity.
Okay.
Like more or less.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. Competing was fun.
Yeah. It's a beast though, right? Like again, my uncle was in it, and it's like the discipline and the food, and then cutting weight to get there. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Well,
like, why are you eating one chicken breast every day?
Yeah. The crazy thing when I think about the whole like the thing we're talking about even with my father, right? Like it permeated like everything that I did. Like the reason I got so like in love with weight training and like that feeling, and then like obviously then the outcome was because it was an escape. Like straight up like training. Like when I was training, it's like everything else would disappear. If you're under the bench press is 300 pounds or however much weight is heavy, where it's like I can't think about death. I can't think about my father. I can't think about the issues. I'm just doing this. So I was like, I wanted to always do more of that. And that's why I found myself like, I would spend like 8 hours in the gym making no money. Like it wasn't my living. It wasn't what I just like, that's where I love to be because of the people that I love, the people that I love to have conversations with. And that's why I felt like I was able to, at the same time, avoid my problem.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So now it's like, now I try and be more conscious of it and like not avoid the problems, like go into them, think about them, talk about them, share them, like
that's the thing too.
When I was younger, it was all about like, let me avoid this by doing this. And obviously it benefited me positively now. And I'm just glad I didn't choose something else.
Chappelle, growing up with your father, you didn't were you mad? Like I know obviously you have you're
like,
sober now, but
is your father passed?
No, I didn't connect with him until I was 29 years old. I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
But it was because I grew up with an abusive stepfather. So like, I was like wondering where my dad was, and I'm like, I was mad that I was like, well, this isn't my dad.
You got two shitty hands.
And then eventually I was adopted into a white family.
It's the greatest picture of all time.
The greatest picture of all time.
Do you have that too? It's the greatest picture. I want to see it. It looks photoshopped. It's the whitest thing I've ever seen, and then Chappelle in the middle. It's the best picture of all time. It should be on like a Macy's catalog.
Yeah, it does look like a catalog. But I was just because it's weird, and great. I give major props to my adoptive father. He taught me a lot. But at the same time, there's just this feeling of like, this ain't my dad. And I was holding on to that a lot. Like I got this stepfather that's abusive. And then I get out of that situation, and then it's like I'm bouncing to new situations, except for with my dad. You know what I mean? But through just finding that positive mindset, I had 3 different anger management teachers that I had to go through to get a solid understanding of like where I was. And when I found out about what my father did in his past, like the gang banging and the drug dealing, also, and then at the same time I lost my brother to prescription drugs. So it was like, my dad came from that world. I could have easily just wrote him off. You know what I mean? I could have easily just been like, nah. But there's something that just told me to fucking go do it. Just like fucking jump in there and it's like, what do you got to lose? And, you know, I haven't been around him. Like if he's not in my life, I'm so used to him not being there. So it's like, what do I got to lose?
And he's a better person.
Oh, way better.
He comes out, like when we perform in Phoenix or wherever. We even have him on my other show, King and Sting. Like, yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
But a lot of people are not willing to like make that because it's easier to be like, nah, fuck this, I'm not gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
Because the harder thing is to deal with it.
But I also think with Chappelle too, it's like when other comics, whoever, complain about something, I'm like, bitch, do you know Chappelle Lacey? Do you know the shit he's been through to make? You're talking about a guy who just sold out his own shows.
Yeah.
It's fucking lit.
Fucking dope.
That agree?
Yeah.
Damn, man. That's a big move, bro. That's fucking, yeah, that's amazing. You came a long way. Straight up. Yeah. It's beautiful, man.
He's in Austin, Texas this Friday and Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, back on his grind. Yeah, that's what it should work, you know? Like, he was my feature for a while now, and then, you know, headline his own shows now.
Why are we crying today?
It's one of those days.
It's raining out. It's raining.
It's raining. I mean, listening to Nirvana all morning and shit.
It's fucking tough.
Listen to Come As You Are. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my pops after this episode. Yeah, man. I love you, Daddy.
So now to Malik. Now to Malik. now,
I can't relate to this. My parents love the shit out of me. My mom and dad were dope. I'm like, oh, Dad, I'm sorry. They got divorced. My dad, I had a great dad. Sorry for all the times. Oh, please send that to
Oh, man.
But now to Malik,
What?
he claims back in January.
Oh, yeah, listen to this shit. I can't wait for you to come in.
No, you're quietly impressed right now.
I was boxing.
Brad, hold on.
Look at that picture. Oh my God. That's the greatest picture of all time.
That's amazing.
Also, is your stepdad dangerous?
I knew you were gonna say that. Fucking, did he start Mr. Brooks?
Man, you know,
awesome.
Beautiful people, man.
That's a full house right there.
Yeah.
God bless him.
God bless him. Yeah, they took care of me because I was a fucking nut. I was a nut, dude. And they rode with me, man.
I love the youngest one. I love the youngest one.
Oh, no, that's my baby. Yeah, that's cool. That's my baby sister.
You still talk to him a lot?
All the time, man. All the time. Like now I just feel like I just got, you know, just a big ass family. You know what I mean? Like reconnecting with my biological father made me, you know, think about things like with my mom. You know, for the longest time I blamed her for, you know, being with my stepfather. But I was so 50-50 with her because I was like, man, you know what? Like, but she's never been mean to me. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's like she's with this shitty dude. She's never been, she's never been mean to me. And she was always good to me. But it was just
hard.
Talk to her
about it?
Yeah,
Why did she say she stayed? I'll see easier said than done.
Yeah, you know, he made her feel like she had to be with him.
Yeah, she couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I mean, just in life in general, like, it's if you're in a situation like that, it's very easy to just speak from like, oh, here's where I'm at and this is how I feel, without understanding like truly why someone else made a decision. Like, for example, my father.
Yeah.
Because I was always in my head, I'm like, why did he do this? Like, why did he do this to me? Why did he do this to my family? Why did he do this to my brother, my mom? And it's like he dealt with a bunch of other shit in his own life that like I can't even relate to, right? And that got him to that point.
Was he in some dark arts?
Yeah, I know that he had severe depression, like physically severe depression, clinically depression, exactly, like where like you have like no dopamine.
And back then it was just like, oh, he's sad. It's like, no, there's a reason.
Yeah, 100%.
Chemical imbalance,
like legit, like real depression. And then I know he abused drugs, like a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
So obviously you end up there, and you know. But the crazy thing, the thing that, I mean, I'm kind of derailing this the point, but and this kind of made me sad, but when he actually took his life, he was sober. Yeah. Like stone sober. Yeah. But he must have had, his depression must have been that bad.
See, and I'm not speaking for you because I've never gone through this. My dad was around, but to me, I would almost feel better knowing that he was sober because it wasn't a decision he made under the influence. Like, that was his decision.
Yeah.
By, you know, and he was of right frame of mind to make it happen. It wasn't like he got all high and was tweaking out and fucked up. It's like he straight up made that
It's
decision.
a crazy, to hang yourself was a crazy decision. Like in my mind, I'm like, how the fuck did like, that's like,
yeah, you think about it, it's like, what, you didn't
yeah.
How did your brother deal with it?
Yeah. So my brother, I think he wasn't as vocal, like was sharing it.
Older or younger?
Older. Yeah, sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2, depending on the time. He was born in December. I think it was harder for him to like move past. I know now he's great. I know he's amazing. Like
Jack?
No, he's very opposite. He's shorter, he's skinnier, like he's a hippie, like he lives in his van.
Oh shit!
No, I love my brother.
Hell
He
yeah.
enjoys life, man. Like,
Yeah.
Sends me. He like basically lives in Tahoe in his van and skis all day. Like,
Oh, fuck it.
yeah, he loves
Nice
it.
life.
Yeah, it's amazing. But what I was saying was like, it's you know, talking about your father, speaking about my perception of mine, like why did they do this? It's like there's so much more that could have led to that, and it's so easy in life for people to be like, someone affects you, and then you're just like, fuck you, fuck that person, fuck you for what you did, and it's like, it's just not that simple.
Yeah, well, I feel the same way even with my stepfather. Like, I look at his life and I go, you know, because sometimes I'll do jokes about it because I've just worked my ass off to fucking be comfortable to speak about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember when I first started doing jokes about it, I remember I still sounded mad. And I was like, how do I get out of that? So I took this deep dive and I looked at his life. I looked at the way he grew up. He didn't grow up great. Yeah. He was doing exactly what he knew.
That's all he knows.
That's all he knows.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, my siblings, they'll still get mad because he, you know, so I have a brother with special needs, so my mom and him still have to see each other, you know, from time to time to, like, you know, help him out with stuff. And, you know, he'll say things like, you know, that he was a good father. Well, in my siblings, they get mad, and I go, no, you can't get mad. You got to realize he really does think that because his father wasn't around. He was there, and granted, yeah, I'm not trying to make an excuse for like what the fuck he did, but like you got to realize where his mind is. Yeah, you have to kind of drop to his mind to understand like this is what he's thinking. It's not crazy that he's saying it.
Yeah,
you know, because his environment is completely. It's just
you got a lot of work to get there then.
Oh,
I'd hit 25 and like, what's up, bitch? I've been at fucking zoo culture, doing that.
zoo culture, baby.
My boys count me a fucking 1-2. Why don't you try to hit me now? All you need is the 1-2. What's up, dude?
No, but I mean, I completely forgive him. Like I don't have a grudge, and it feels great. It feels great that I could walk through life knowing that. You know.
It's just crazy though. You got there because you went into it. It's easier to avoid it, and then you just have that grudge your whole life. So like encouraging people, like yo, like it's not going to be easy, but you need to like go into it.
You got to do the work.
You can't just stuff it down.
Dude, as soon as you take that full step in that bitch, like you're rolling.
Yeah.
But your other family members haven't?
No, you know they're actually doing a lot better. You know, mainly just talking to me.
Yeah.
Because they hear another side. Because you know they didn't get the luxury of, you know, being adopted into a good, loving family.
They stayed in it.
They stayed in it. You know what I mean? Like they had no choice. You know, so like, and that, like I felt bad for that. Like I'm like, man, I'm with this nice ass family, and you know, with my brothers and sisters.
Guilt.
Yeah. Oh, big fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, knowing how my relationship is with my siblings now, like it's like, oh, like they've always like loved me and like, you know. Because I didn't know if they did or not. I thought they like fucking
resented you.
Oh yeah.
Because you're sending pictures of like tuna casserole and shit. And then they're like, dude, like we're having cherries and water.
Cherries and water. Drinking water. I just ate a fucking Tonka truck. No,
they're all flexing on them.
We got to cut them off a little bit, but Mallet, because I want to get to this because I want to.
He's trying to say he gained 40 pounds in 2 months. I'm like, bro, look at that. Dude, I told him, I said, dude, I can't wait for Brad to get it. I said, even if you're running all the gear in the world, it'd be fucking impossible to gain 40 pounds.
Bradley, listen, I'm 29 years old. Okay. I was boxing all my life. I know something about weight. You can tell. I told him you can't come into the gym. You gotta be too something to do something. That's my until you hit 200. You can't come to zoo. I got a whole quota of ectomorphs out there. I'm inspiring them. Right? Don't even give them that merch until you hit 200. You can't wear the merch. Hold it. I'm gonna hold it for you. When you hit 200, I'm like, here's your.
How much you weigh right now?
190.
Oh, 190. Okay, what? What? Soaking wet? Nah, it rained outside.
Dude, I'm telling you, come to zoo culture, you're like, what the fuck?
That's the real 190. I'm 190 right now.
Like actually solid. Like if you got on a scale.
We bought the scale. I was 182. Like that was.
But you in January you were not 150.
I was
I don't think you were 153. Dude, if you were 150, I would have clowned the fuck out because we were doing this in January.
I'm gonna send you a picture.
So skinny.
No.
Okay.
How tall are you? 6'2".
Yeah, you'd have been. Do you know how thin that is at 150? Okay.
I was 150. Here it is right here. You can't tell me.
Dude, you look exactly the same.
You cannot tell. Don't I look bigger? Hold on. Wait. Don't look how skinny I was. And look at the date. That's just, you see what I'm saying? Look how skinny.
You're not 40 pounds of muscle.
Now you know. Now you're looking at it like, hold on. Look how skinny I was.
Let me see.
Look how skinny I was.
You look exactly the same.
No, stop. Wait a minute.
You know how much 40 pounds would be on your frame?
Hold on.
You know how big you would be?
Yeah, you 40
fucking pounds.
Okay. I sent the perform. I took a.
He did hit 225 10 times, Bradley. I did see him do that.
And they didn't believe me.
225? Yeah, 225 10 times.
Yeah, you don't believe me. And I was 182.
I love how Bradley has to act like it's good weight.
Yeah, but we
saw him on 350.
I mean, it's not weak, you know? Yeah, it's not. It's not bad. Yeah. And listen, again, I don't know. But I don't know about this weight.
No, it's not. That's not.
Are you serious?
2 months?
153
Hey, you're talking to realize who you're talking to right now.
40 pounds.
40 pounds.
Tell me how.
Realize who you're talking to right now.
I was 153. Now I'm 190. Like currently right now. 190. So it's 10 pounds. I'm 10 pounds away to come into your gym.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, scale there too. We're gonna have to fucking.
He said we got a scale there.
You got a scale there.
Before we do convention, I think what else is dope about your gym, and one of the literally the original reason I went in. I knew you were doing your thing, but then also you kind of fighting back against the city.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, in LA. For those of you that don't live in LA, they shut down all gyms, except for Zoo Gym. Because you fought back. Yeah. How has your experience been with that? Because it's a beast, man. Like, after you're fighting a good fight, I think.
Yeah.
Because obviously, one way to beat COVID is be healthy. And this promotes health. Well, and there's no outbreaks, and it's a tricky thing.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. Because there's all these studies coming out too about how like 63% of people who actually ended up dying from COVID is more directly related to health and exercise, not doing so.
Yep, underlying health conditions.
And like legit studies coming out saying we should have encouraged people to do that instead of not do that. But
dude, I got a ticket for riding my bike.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with this, it sucks is I can't say so much, but I can say I definitely.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I definitely. It's not right what they're doing because I mean we've spoken about this, man, and it's just. This is my simple thing. I really just want to stand up and I want to talk to the judge. I want to talk to the jury. I want to ask him because we might end up getting there. I might go to a jury trial. I don't know.
I think what's interesting is you're fighting this fight. You're fighting a good fight. But by the time it gets to that, everything's gonna be open. Yeah. So what are they fighting for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then Texas open today.
Yeah.
And you got Mississippi wide open.
Fucking Newsom he's that's reckless.
He's reckless. Because he
chill out.
But no, Newsom can't backtrack now. He has to double down on
that's the thing.
Why everybody's business.
But this is
fuck.
I just want to make the cigarette thing.
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
This is the thing that I don't understand, right? If we as humans, individuals, we can make the choice. Because I don't want to talk about alcohol, because everyone's going to be like, well, people who are alcohol dependent, if you take alcohol away from them, they'll die. Because if you were an alcoholic and you were dependent on alcohol and someone took it away from you, you die.
Mm-hmm.
Like years of alcohol abuse to take it away, you have a heart attack, your body withdrawals, shock. Right? Okay. Granted, everyone else who's not alcohol dependent, then maybe they don't need to go get alcohol. If we're trying to determine what's good for people in the public health, right? Because the public health officials are telling me that my gym is a problem by telling me it should be closed, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, can they also explain to me, there's two things I want to talk about. Why is it okay for us to make decisions as individuals to go buy cigarettes that cause the three things that are making people die of complications with COVID? Most people who die from COVID are dying because of COVID, but because of these three other conditions, which is high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol, heart disease, right?
And those are facts.
Well, those are facts. Those are
and that's the thing. I'm pretty sure you would a person that runs a gym, a facility where people go to work on their health. I'm pretty sure you would look up as much statistics as you could.
Well, these are facts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like these are there like released facts from the CDC and all. These are the things that are killing people in combination with COVID, right? Those three things are caused by cigarettes, not only to you smoking them, but to people who are around you secondhand smoke. But it's an okay choice for us to buy that cigarette, to smoke it, to kill myself, like to cause these issues.
The government's giving you that freedom.
And him,
to make
that freedom's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not okay for me to make the choice to go to the gym to combat those same three things to defend myself from something that you don't have a vaccine for in the beginning, right? But it's like, how is a health official telling me that like, that's an okay choice to make, but this is not an okay choice? Like there is no explanation. There's no rhyme or reason. You cannot make that make sense.
It's optics.
You can't make that make sense.
Your business shut down for optics.
And then so that's the crazy thing, right? Because then it's like we go to court, and I'm looking at other gyms because there's some gyms who try to fight back in the same time frame, and like they'll have 10 counts, 5 counts, like maybe 15
of COVID.
Of not of COVID, of it's an 8.77, which is saying like you guys didn't listen to us, you're open, right? And then there's other counts where I have where I didn't let people in, right? Which is not letting the health inspector come in, right? But I have the we're not listening count, 8.77. I have like I think like 60 or 70 of them now, and other gyms have like 5, 4.
You're also the most famous.
So that's the thing, right?
They're trying to make an example. Because if they do it to
thing.
you, they're like these other, you other gym owners are smaller.
But
Bradley,
for sure.
You look what happened to him, and you're smaller.
But here's the interesting thing, right? At the same time, in the same county, production, what we're doing here is okay indoors, and it's deemed essential because it's entertainment, right? So if they're saying that this like the way that I built that entire thing was through this, right? It's through entertainment, like millions of views on social media and all this stuff, right? So at the same time that they're attacking me for what I'm like also should be considered essential for, right? It's just, it doesn't like,
and I have to tell your defense, I've never seen a gym with more content creators than you, Culture. Like, there's so many cameers. Everyone has their own fucking channel.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally
like, hey, Matumbo, out of the way. I'm like, what? And then you fucking, whoa. Wait, why would they call you Matumbo? Because I'm tall. Fuck. But you're about to disrespect Matumbo. Hey, Shrek, out of the way. I'm like,
you're taller than I thought you were going to be. Sure. Yeah. But so yeah, we have like, there's tons of people who travel from all over to shoot content. All the raw gear athletes shoot content. Like everyone who comes and shoots content for the same purpose of entertainment, right? And that's considered essential. So I'm just like, if they're over here attacking me, like, I remember sitting in court and the lady's like, you post on social media every day, all this, like he's continuing to break these things. And it's like, wait, but then on the other hand, you guys are saying that like people who make content in facilities indoors is okay. But like now I'm being attacked for the same exact reason that like you're seeing the content.
I don't think they realize what animal they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? They just think, oh, it's like a 24-hour fitness or a Gold's Gym. It's like, oh, bitch. It's a different, what we're doing is different than those other ones.
And it's more of a private gym. It's not like there's just like a fuck ton of people. It's like, it might be busy, but it's busy like people doing specific things.
Yeah.
So
in hindsight, dealing with what you dealt with, would you make the same stance?
Absolutely. Well, because
financially, I know, I don't want to put your business out there. I know it's cost some major bucks.
And that's the thing, man, what I want to talk about too, like, I'll get comments will be like, you're selfish, you're an asshole, like, close the gym down. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I would be selfish if I closed down my gym and just shot all my content, let all my people come in to shoot content, and that was it. Because, like, what about all my fucking employees who, like, it's their livelihood? What about the kid who I was when I was 16, 17 years old, who was like, maybe I might have ended my fucking life because I didn't have something to
Or that kid can't go to school right now, and his only outlet is to work out and shoot content.
Exactly.
And that's how he
Or it's just trained. Like, I was that kid that if I didn't have the gym, I don't know if I'd be here today.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take it away from that kid who, like, I knew that that was me.
Yep.
So there's could be kids in there that I don't know well enough. Maybe I didn't speak to them far enough. Like, so maybe that's the position that they're in, or for some reason.
But those dummies posting those comments, they don't realize. It's like when I was like one of the first comics start touring during COVID, and I got so much hate. And I was like, do you realize when I go into a city that like Houston, San Antonio, that staff hasn't had any form of income in months. And when I roll through there, they're getting fucking paid, man. They're making their rent, they're making their mortgage, they're feeding their kids.
Well, let's talk about this, right? Like, number one, there is zero actual spread of COVID in my gym. There's no issue. No one's ever come back and said this. No one said their family members, someone I know. Like, no one's ever come in. But at the same time, like, if you talk about money, that was the thing that really irked me in the beginning. Was like, look, fuck me, fuck zoo culture, right? I love what it is, but this is bigger than that. Because what about the thousands of business owners who that is their entire livelihood, and they work their whole life to get there, and the government goes, you're not essential, good luck. So what about someone's bills, medical bills? Who knows, their kid has cancer, maybe they're paying for chemo. Like, what about all that stuff? So now that guy's life and his mortgage and his wife and his family and his kid who's dealing with this is not, it's just not as important as someone who could die from COVID over here. But that kid can die from cancer. That guy might kill himself when his kid dies from cancer, shoot himself in the fucking head. So those lives don't matter. Like, how are you deciding what's essential for someone else? Like that's the fucked up part. And right when I saw that, and then you start seeing you start reading about how the fucking all the big CEOs stepped down, sold all their shares, went right before the shit plummeted. Like they knew the shit was coming, all the stocks going down, and then bought their shit back. But we all that's okay. Like we're gonna play this game. We're like, no, that guy's not valuable. Got fucked. Like that's the fucked up thing. Is like I could have closed on my shit and just filmed my content, and been like, fuck this. I'm just gonna ride this out. Like because I didn't need income. The gym has been the biggest liability in my life for me. For sure. Lawsuits, paying employees, all this stuff. I'm paying the most. Like the most money comes out of that gym. Right. Yeah. I'm not over here banking money on the gym. And now it's like I could have closed all that down and incurred way less liability. But then it's like, what about all the people who really need it? And then standing for the people who don't stand and can't stand because they don't have enough money because the city goes, here's a fine, here's a fine, here's a fine, close down.
Shut them down.
Yeah, now they're like, now their life is fucked. Like their everything, like their livelihood is gone. My livelihood was different.
Yeah, you'd be fine no matter what. Obviously, you're not relying on the membership at Zoo Culture to pay your bills. I think what's interesting is things start opening in Texas, Mississippi, Florida's supposed to happen soon. Even LA, from what I hear, is going to start opening up more and more and more. Yeah. So by the time you get to this, it's like, what are we arguing? Now that we have more facts, it's going to be tough for what ground they're going to stand on. Because a lot of those things you're coming after you for, we know from science and just the experience now through this COVID period that a lot of that stuff isn't.
Well, there's literally no proof. Like how, if I go to trial, how are they going to prove that there has been ever a problem in the gym? Yeah. There's no proof of it.
And that's why the city's being sued by a lot of people.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that I'm not going to be behind that. I'm going to be there as well. Because I spent 3 months, we operated with a generator because they came and literally turned our power off. What? So we operated with a generator every day for 3 months. So I at least want that $7,000 back a month. They fucking took me that goddamn gas tank, because they're still a generator. I at least want that back.
I know about generators.
And it's stupid.
And you document it all on your YouTube channel too. Like you go into court. It's funny because you went to. I saw that video. You went to court. You came out. There's like fans and fucking cameras and shit.
Yeah, but like I
just honestly, all these like super protein bros.
I haven't said a lot about it, because like I don't want to. This is the crazy thing, man. When I first started saying this, I just gotta say this because fuck it just bothers me. I have to say it. Sure. When I first started posting, I made a series of posts talking about how that the loans came out and big multi-million-dollar companies got these loans. I think maybe 30% of businesses that needed got the actual loans. Yeah. But then the actual loans that you got were they were only subsidizing 70% of what the employees should make, like payroll, right? But not utilities, not expenses, nothing, right? So imagine a business owner, you get this loan, because I applied for this and I read all the things and I talked to my accountant, what can I pay for, right? I can only pay for 70% of what the employees should make. So imagine I'm a business owner and I pay my employees for however many months that is, but I can't pay rent, mortgage, utilities of the business or for myself as an owner, right? My situation is different because I have other sources of income, but imagine you're in that situation, you pay your employees, what business do they come back to when you couldn't pay for your rent and utilities? Yeah. So then it's just, so I wrote this whole series of just factual shit, right? On my Instagram. Nothing saying fuck the city, because it's not about that. I was just this is what's happening to me. Help me make this make sense. I think you pulled it up on a thing. You pulled a tweet up. Yeah. I posted that tweet in one of the other podcasts you did, and then I posted a few black screens on Instagram where I was just writing these things we're all focusing on this, but when no one's talking about all this other stuff, the ancillary damage that happens because of it, right? And just speaking just not general, specific, but not attacking. And then how come I hear from my lawyer at the time, my other lawyer at the time, that the district attorney or the prosecutor saw that and was mad. So it's wait, what are we so now I can't. You guys don't want me to speak voice like these? like the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Like, so now that's a problem to you guys because I'm saying these things. Like, it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's happening? Like, I'm not saying fuck you guys suck. I'm just saying, like, this is wrong. Why is this happening?
Yeah, explain it to me.
Like, and then another thing, like the whole gyms with the gyms where they're like, yo, as long as it's outside, but then they just put it inside some, like, basically like saran wrap with like less filtration. That's okay. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, and I'm like, whoa, what scientist told you that, like, that was the right amount of airflow? Like, how are you determining that what's outside, but even though it's inside, what's the airflow? Like, who's saying that, like, that is, like, show me that data.
I think it's going to be interesting as you go through this, what right they're going to stand on.
I just, show me the problem in my gym. Show me the data saying that gyms, like, there's data proving otherwise. Like, so what's happened? Like, because you said so?
Are they still trying to censor you?
Well, I'm doing my best to, like, not go out there and say all this crazy shit
until you get through it.
Until I get through it. Because, like, there's so much more I want to say, man, but it's just like, fuck, it's like, what's happening? Like, I'm just so confused. If they, man,
you're fighting a good fight, brother.
Listen, I just feel this. If they were really serious about COVID being a really big issue, like, if it was as big of an issue as they've made it out to be, then why do they continue to let people fly and pack planes? I get it, like, because this is protected. I know, I read about all this. It's protected by, like, a federal thing, and, like, they're okay to do it because it's federal. But it's like, but if we're talking about public health, then why is that continuing? Why did that continue the whole time? Like, that's exactly.
Yeah, we talk all the time, man.
And that's the thing. It's just like, that's the thing. It's just like, I know what it is, but, like, what I don't understand is how people don't realize that. Because you hear the people who are like, you're bad, you don't have a mask on, you're bad, your gym's open, you're bad, you're this, and everyone's just dividing and attacking each other, and it's like, wait, you guys cannot see all this writing on the wall? Like, what about that? Like, you guys are, you're okay with that happening because they didn't say it was a big problem, or like, they're writing all these articles saying like, no, it's actually really safe and all this. Like, I'm in a tube, but like, when I go to the restaurant, I got to put a mask on, and then when I stand up to go to the bathroom, but when I sit down, I have this in my hand, all of a sudden I can't give you COVID.
It's all confusing.
Help me make this make sense. I mean, it just,
again, it's going to be interesting what you try and get through it, man.
Sorry, I should get some fucked up.
I should get you. No, so I'm censoring myself. I'll pop off, man. What do you got, Chen? Like Jim Robin here.
Okay, so this is for you. A bunch of people have been sending this in. The VP of Nike here in Northern America had to resign because they found out that her son has been ordering shoes with the credit card that he set up in her name using her employee connections. He would buy hundreds and hundreds of sneakers, then resell them.
Do you know how much money this kid was making? Here's what's fucked about this. Ann Herbert, who worked for Nike, she's making like $3-4 million a year. Like, I don't know why she did this, but I'm confused. So was he actually getting shoes from official Nike, or was he just
official
buying?
Nike? So
but was he using her discount?
Yes.
Like, oh wow.
Yes. So the story officially, as of now, is that she resigned shortly after they found out because he was actually having an interview done with a popular shoe publication, and he ended up speaking a little too loosely, and he revealed who his mom was when they started fishing into how he got all his connections. They realized that she's been working for Nike for 25 years.
So he snitched on himself.
Yeah, he basically snitched on himself.
Well, this is obvious. He didn't move smart either. He had 6 pairs of Nike Mags.
Yes.
He
was very, very vocal about how he has all these shoes and he's like the plug.
He was loud about it.
Yeah, he was very loud about it, but nobody knew who his mom was. They didn't know how he was getting these shoes. And so when he did the interview, he accidentally outed his mom, and then he tried to get the publication to not publish her name and his connections. They then found out that he actually signed up for a credit card under his mother's name and then used her name, her connections, and all the information he knows about her work stuff to then get these shoes. He get hundreds and hundreds of shoes.
He spent $132 grand one morning for a launch of Kanye West sneakers.
Yeah. How long did this go on for?
A few years. He is currently 19, so we don't know exactly how long he's been doing this for.
Well, I wanted to face for a reason why I'm taking L's on this Nike app. Everyone's so mad. I never win on that sneaker app. I always have to buy them from somebody else, from a plug or something like that. I take so many L's on that fucking Nike app.
Who was talking about that in
Ooh, show him, Chappelle.
Show it again. What do you get the camera? What do you get the camera? Oh, I can't see it.
He had to have help though.
Closer, other way.
19, like, there's no, like, how do you...
But if you have all your access to your mom's, like,
Yeah, but at some point, when that person, the supplier who's giving you shoes, like, wait a fucking minute.
yeah,
How come he was never going back to Nike like, yo, they're doing
Yeah,
this?
there's a few people like,
got you.
you know, why
He
is
had- he had
Germany,
an
why does
insight.
Germany want 8 Nike Max? Like,
Yeah.
a shoe that sells for
He could
fucking
have
20
been paying. He could have been paying them off.
Yeah, there's other
like,
people.
throwing them a
There's
cut.
other people that can take it.
Yeah,
But
look,
also,
I
that
was-
mom was making $4 million a year.
Yeah,
salary.
Yeah.
So she had to resign. She had to resign.
Yeah, it's terrible.
People think that she resigned so quickly and so quietly because there's more that will come out that she's worried they're gonna find out. Because people are speculating that like when she found out, she was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like my son did this, it's wrong, but I'm gonna step down for the better of the company." People think that she's trying to cover up something else, like maybe he did something else even worse with all of her information for Nike. So it's still there's an investigation going on, but
Well, hopefully this means I'll win shoes next weekend.
Let's
And
hope.
this week.
we should pray.
What else you got?
Okay, so a Oregon judge has recently ruled that Miss America, the actual pageant competition, can now say that only natural-born females are able to be in the pageant. Because there was a transgender beauty queen in Oregon who wanted to then compete to eventually try to compete for the title
If
of Miss
she's prettier
America.
than these natural-born women, who gives a fuck?
They're saying
Like if it's that girl from Vegas, Stevie show.
It sounds like she'd have to go through like a lot more.
Yeah.
God
Beat
damn.
the odds, man.
What the hell?
she might deserve it.
What the hell is Dude, she was born a dude, and then, you know, she's just crushing it now, and she becomes Miss America.
I mean,
Yeah,
What a story.
Do they have a picture of it?
wow.
I think you can find it. I don't have it in this article.
I need to know.
I swear, she better not be
She better not be bad.
It looks like me with a wig on.
That's Oregon. That's Oregon. You're funny. It's not my type. I'm in LA. That's
Miss Oregon.
Okay,
down on you a little bit.
I don't think she was actually Miss Oregon. She was Miss Earth Oregon. It's like a different beauty pageant. So like Miss Oregon, but not really.
Oh, she
Miss
ain't even in the real
Oregon.
beauty
Yeah,
pageant.
what are they so worried about?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, she wanted to compete, and so the organization actually saw her
And she ain't
resume.
Turn the ass over.
Why you
I'm looking at the picture.
I know it's fine. I'm just looking. She ain't gonna win. Let her compete.
Let her compete.
Hey, I've seen those women. She ain't gonna win. But she should have the right to compete.
Yeah, fuck it. Who
So
cares?
if there's some bad transgender, come on. Who cares?
She be a lot of zoo coaches.
What else you got, Jay?
Okay, as you were saying,
You weren't supposed to see that, bro.
as you were saying, Texas yesterday officially announced that they are 100% open and that there's no longer going to be a mask mandate.
Now, don't get it twisted. It's not like if you fly to Texas right now, it's off and popped, everyone's mask is off.
Yeah.
Because all the mayors, you know, can decide. Like Austin's, they tell you, Austin ain't open. So they can dictate if they're going to, the state might say, hey, you don't have to enforce anything. But each mayor can decide. So the mayor in Austin's like, nope, we're still using masks, we're still half capacity, you can eat inside. So it's not like people think it's just like, oh, it's popping now. It's not, especially in Austin. As I go there this weekend. But it's still better than here.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
So there is a company who is starting to plan the creation of the first space hotel, and they're planning on opening it up for 2027, anywhere
That's
between a
soon.
3-day weekend to weekly rentals, monthly
weekend
rentals,
to go to
or you
space?
can,
In 6 days.
or you can buy
6 years.
or you can buy like a room there,
How do you get there?
a plane, a spaceship.
A spaceship, and then you dock, and then you get.
Fuck that.
Why?
I'm not doing that shit.
lit. I
Would
don't
you-
care what
would
y'all
you-
Hell yeah, I'd do that.
No, absolutely not. Would you? Pros, cons. You ever been to 4 Seasons in Hawaii? Yeah. I don't need to go to fucking Mars to hang out.
I can look down at Hawaii.
Probably at least a few weeks. It
to
really,
get there.
it really depends on
few weeks
how
to get
far
there?
the hotel is going to be.
Well,
up
no,
in
if
space.
it's just like floating in orbit, because Mars takes fucking forever.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if it's
6
like
months,
a few days, a few weeks, or if it's going to be months. As of right now, I don't think they're taking you like way deep into space.
But also, you know how it is. Like, even if you get to Hawaii and you got an oceanfront property, like, God damn, this is great. Look at that beach. And then you move on with your life. You would fly all the way to space, deal with all these fucking variables. Then you get there and you're like, damn, look at Earth from here. They're just in a room.
Bro, you and your girl.
I'd be like, I want to go home.
Man,
Yeah, it's like, I want to go home.
You take your girl there. It's just,
I'd be so scared.
the thing about it is it's just an experience.
Thank you. Yeah, it's dope.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm
Like
out.
a bucket list.
Yeah, I'm
I told my girl I got a trip out this world for you.
And then some dumbass like opens up a window or something. And we all get sucked out.
But now we friends together.
Some bullshit. You know, some like you see people on cruise ships all the time. They fall off the side or some shit. You have that idiot. It's hot, babe. I'm opening up a window.
Freeze to death in 2 seconds.
Oh no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you're right. I can see it.
I have no desire to do that.
Did you go, Chin?
Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm happy here. There's so much
here.
stuff I haven't seen here on Earth.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I've never been to Thailand. Fuck Mars. I heard Thailand's great.
Thailand's
The
amazing.
food,
Oh my
lady
God.
boys. They got some cool shit
I said I don't like this one.
there. Yeah, whatever.
You were crying earlier.
I
was hoping she was beautiful.
Yeah. Now, because she can definitely win.
He was like, I was trying to like, yo, she can go to.
Yeah, I want to go to Thailand, eat the food.
I saw it on him.
Yeah, I want to go to Japan. They have great fashion in Japan.
The Mario Kart.
Mario Kart
for the
World.
kids.
Yeah.
There's so many places. So many places to go.
Yeah, I'm all set on space.
We don't have time right now. We don't have time to go everywhere we want to go here.
Yeah.
So why go there?
Why go to
Yeah.
space? Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys talked.
I'm up there.
You guys talked off air about this, but JJ Watt signed in with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then I guess yesterday he signed a two-year deal for like potentially $31 million.
2 years?
Yeah, 2-year deal.
I think he has like 2 years left.
How old is he?
I don't know, but three-time defensive player of the year. He's a beast, man. So if he can stay
31.
healthy.
Oh, he's only 31.
Really?
But what is that in football?
He's getting up there.
He is. Oh, really?
Yeah. He still has some good time left. There's a reason why.
For his position.
Yeah. But he's just been injured.
Yeah.
And that defensive line, I can't think of that guy's name. He's gonna be the opposite side of him. He'll have a good squad here.
Arizona?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you gotta get my Arizona.
Yeah, you boys. This is an MMA one. So Hamzat Shemaev, he's like one of the more famous up-and-comers. He's pretty brand new, right? He's killing it right now.
He got hot last year because he took, I think, like 4 fights and like
short span of time.
Some shit like kept fighting, and winning.
Started awesome fashion too.
Yeah, he was like the MVP of COVID fighting. Like he kept fighting and beating.
Why is he die?
So he had COVID, and apparently, like, he tried many times to like fight it, but then he's still getting like residual effects from it.
So here's what. So he had COVID, pulled out of. He's supposed to fight Leon Edwards. They kept postponing the fight. He got COVID, had horrible symptoms from it. You know, he's one of the poor guys that have horrible symptoms.
Yeah.
But then they put him. This is Dana White speaking for this. They put him on the steroid to help him with his lung and stuff. And apparently, it's some crazy steroid that has horrible effects, like side effects. And they told him, "Don't work out on it, dude. You're gonna feel like shit, but it's gonna beat this thing. So eventually, you can work out." Obviously, he didn't listen. Gets that shot, and then tries working out the next day and felt horrible. So he's like, "Oh, this is how I'm gonna feel. I retire." He on Twitter was like, "Oh, I retire. I can't fight anymore." But apparently, him and Dana had a conversation, and Dana's like, "He's not retiring. He's emotional. He'll be fine."
So he posted on his Instagram how he just his body's not working the right way because of the illness. So he feels like he has to leave the sport. And then Dana White talked to him, and also Ramzan Kadyrov, who has like a crazy history in Chechnya. He had to talk with him, and then he immediately says, "I'm back."
I think he's just emotional. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Like, he's a monster, and then he goes to the gym, and everything's slow, and he feels shit. He's like, "I can't beat anybody like this." So he just got. He's also young, so he got emotional.
How long is this? Does this last? The COVID stuff? Because I was reading stuff about some people get it like it lasts a while.
Yeah, I think everyone's different, man. You think that, a guy who's in good shape and stuff, he'd beat it fast, but apparently it was really bad for him. I don't know if he had other issues, stuff like that. You know, if you had pneumonia as a kid, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. Yeah. But yeah, he'll be all right. He just got.
Yeah, I know when he first got it, but it was probably like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
When he got it?
Yeah, when he got it.
Oh,
and he's been fighting it ever since.
Oh, so it's recent.
Yeah, it's recent. Yeah,
give him some time.
it was like a month ago. He just freaked the fuck out. He'll be fine. Guaranteed.
All right, Bill Burr talking about Gina Carano's firing. You saw that?
Yeah, he
was
on my side.
He was on another part.
It's a weird time unless she did some truly horrible shit or said overly racist shit. I don't know. I think there's just too many channels, and then you gotta do sensational shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm on that fucking show now. I gotta watch the.
He's just being super honest about it too.
Yeah, she was an absolute sweetheart. I love Bill Burr. She was an absolute sweetheart. Super nice fucking love. Super nice fucking person. You know, whatever. And somehow someone will take this video and they'll make me say something else and try to get rid of my bald action figure. It's fucking crazy times. People just laying in the weeds. Page guys.
Yeah.
Keep going down later in the podcast. Burr elaborated on his views on cancel culture, saying now it's becoming like, hey, you made an ignorant comparison. There goes your dream, right? And I look at this and it's like, who the fuck stands up for that? Yeah, he's like, yeah, I love Bill Burr, man. He's one of the real ones.
What did she say?
She was making jokes though. Like, no, she not jokes.
In her bio?
No, not jokes.
No, not that.
Oh, no,
it was.
that's not.
That's an old thing.
She compared what the government was doing to COVID to the Holocaust. And she was like, there's similarities. Like, they start with this, they take away this, right? Like, we've seen this over history. And people have made those comparisons, which is supposed to be an actual picture. I think it was, poor taste and probably not the smartest thing to do, but lose your job over it, dude.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting is the co-host on that same Mandalorian show years prior made a similar comment, and he's fine. No one fucks with him. But just because she did it during right now, she got canceled. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Oh, that feels great too. Yeah.
She actually came out and said that somebody over in Disney accidentally sent her an email saying that they want to fire her anyways.
This is what me and Brian were talking about. So what she did, I don't vouch for. I love Gina. I think she's a great human being, and I think it's totally fucked up what they did to her. But I think it was a matter of they were just waiting to get rid of her.
That's what.
And as soon as they saw this, like, yes, we got it. Who knows? Maybe they want somebody else for the role. Maybe she wasn't what they thought. It wasn't a fit. Who knows? But usually those studios, those networks, like they're gonna stand behind. So like if that's Daniel Day-Lewis or Leonardo DiCaprio, I think he'd get fired over that.
True.
No, shut the fuck up. Because they're so talented. With her, they might have had someone else in mind for the role. Yeah. They were just waiting for a little crack. Like, oh, there we go. She's out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I saw this on Rogan's Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
You saw this too? It's insane. So a cephalopod, there's a cuttlefish. I guess it learned how to do something where they bypassed one treat and waited a little longer for a better treat.
Oh, wow.
Which is it's a cognitive test for kids.
Yep.
And they're able to wait like 50 to 130 seconds.
Is that he a type of like mollusk? Is he like an octopus?
Cephalopods are like squid, octopus.
Yeah, they say like octopus, like when you're eating calamari, you fucks. Think about this.
Yeah.
The thing about like octopus can like feel things and like know what's going on, and we're just fucking.
I feel bad about it too.
Marinara, and Chin wants to eat alive.
I love them. I love eating
What's
those.
that Netflix octopus feature?
Yeah,
I think that's what Jay was talking about.
Octopus teacher.
I literally cannot eat. I would never eat octopus.
Oh man,
that octopus was like a dog.
Once Jay told me about that, my brother
God.
Jay told me about that. I'm like, I haven't had octopus since.
Have you watched it though?
No.
So watch it. It'll
It's on Netflix.
Yes,
It's still on
it's amazing. It's legit dope, but it'll make you feel like it's a dog.
When I was in Hawaii, I was snorkeling, and we had like a guide, and he went and grabbed an octopus, and I was like, oh, dude, is he gonna like be mean to me? He's like, no, he can feel your intentions. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, yeah, watch. Like, your friend's real scared over there, and he went to go put his bed, and the octopus like, went back. He's like, but you like animals, and you're loving, and put on me, and the octopus grabbed on him.
Oh,
super
if you
cool.
watch this, it's literally that. Like, it shows a progression when you first met him.
Dude, they're so cool.
Yeah.
I don't touch calamari.
But you said also their lifespan is short though, right? That's why you feel better about eating them?
Yeah, I think their lifespan is like 3 years or some shit. Like
So that's crazy, right?
Once they give offspring like this. So.
yeah, 3 fire years, Chin, and you want to fucking eat his face off.
It's part of my culture.
If anything, 3 years should make you not want to eat them. They only have 3 years.
I've got to watch
Like,
it.
very cool. You're a year
I'm gonna
old.
watch it. I have to watch it. If I want to eat it, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you eat.
Yeah.
All right, before I eat another one, I'm watching it.
The cephalopod pass a test that like kids do.
Yeah, and they said not all of them, just like regular kids. Some kids won't pass it, but the ones that they had in their facility.
I'd be fucking pissed. My kid didn't do that.
You know, if you give a kid
Taking a small tree. Look at the octopus.
with kids, they gave them like an apple, but if you wait like 15 minutes, they'll give you this chocolate bar. So a lot of kids, if they're smart enough, their brain starts, rolling, and they'll say, "Oh, I want the chocolate, so I'll wait."
That's been a popular trend on TikTok. A lot of people do that with their kids. They'll set up a camera to film and say, okay, wait until like daddy gets back and you can get a treat afterwards. And there's like a cupcake in front of them. If they take a bite. Yeah. It's like parent TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
really?
seen that too.
I'll do that. I guarantee you Tiger won't touch that cupcake.
What about Boston?
He would destroy that thing.
Yeah.
But he also, he won, so.
Boston
Tiger beat the shit
also...
out of an octopus, but he beat him in this thing.
Would you ever do that slice cheese thing?
No, where people
they throw
like
sliced
cheese and
cheese
shit
on
on
their
the kid and it
faces.
falls in the face. I feel like it's humiliating for the kid.
Wait, what? What's
You
that?
know, people grab like slices like, cheddar cheese and throw it at the kid's face and then watch it fall down.
They put these kids back into school. What the fuck?
Hey, parents, figure some other shit out, man.
I think this was like
The cheese
a little
challenge.
before TikTok. Just like
Is that government
What?
cheese? That's just messed up.
Oh, bro.
What is baby like that? It's just to do it.
Oh, well. This went viral.
Yeah. It became a trend.
I don't get it.
How's that funny?
It's humiliating for
I
the
think
kid.
it's just bored parents. That's really what it
It's
is.
so fucking bored. Oh, this is pre-pandemic.
So some kids cry, which is
Some kids will
and
take
some laugh.
That's what you want.
Yeah. Okay.
That baby not
That's just that's all like
I don't get the appeal to it.
Oh, I gotta stop it there.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I think it's the same type of parents who do the Jimmy Kimmel challenge where it's like, oh, tell your kids you ate all their
Halloween candy.
and they get their it's the same thing.
No. Let's see. This one here. You always talk about Cheeto fingers. So this girl, she did a home invasion thing where she tried to, I don't know. There's a mom and 2 kids there. She broke into the window and then she called the cops and then she booked. This girl booked and then they found a bag of Cheetos on the ground in a bottle of water. So then they found her after, they were looking around the yard. So when they looked at her teeth, she had Cheeto dust in her teeth. So they found out that's her that broke into the house.
Cheeto dust.
She's just hanging out in the backyard.
No, she was hiding. And then when they finally found her,
She's like,
she
it's
popped
not
up.
me, but she smelled like Cheetos.
Yeah, but then they found out she had Cheetos in her teeth.
I feel the crunchy Cheetos or the puffs, they
Oh yeah.
Good luck getting that off.
That's why I eat Cheetos with popsicle.
Oh.
I don't want Cheeto fingers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't had a Cheeto thing.
They're so good, but you feel so shitty after.
I like the crunchy one.
The crunchy
I like
ones
the
are like
Is there any healthy? Oh, I love the spicy one. What about the jalapeno? There's no healthy Cheeto.
Oh, actually, no. There's a
What
keto
things like-
Cheeto now. There's like a brand
be
that
good for you,
makes
though.
like keto snacks like that.
Yeah,
So there's
keto-
like a hot Cheeto puff, but then it's keto.
The keto cereal, Magic Spoon.
Is that good?
Yeah,
You fuck with it? How's your diet?
You fuck with Magic Spoon?
I've tried it all.
That was aggressive.
That's all I want to ask you. Like,
I like more balanced stuff.
like what?
So people like, oh, I do keto and they don't eat all completely. They don't eat this or they don't eat that.
Yeah.
Keto, it can be a good diet for a lot of people though. It's hard to maintain it.
The longevity, I did it for months, and the longevity, I don't see how someone can do it for like years.
Yeah, you got to kind of really enjoy that food. So I tend to eat balanced. I'll eat the carbs, I'll eat the fat, I'll eat the protein. I eat healthy food.
Yeah,
I eat a
good
specific
food.
amount of each in each meal.
What's a normal meal for you, Brad? Like, what you wake up, work out, what you eat after?
I'll eat
You're saying a men's health interview.
no.
I'm trying to see if you do what I do.
I'll eat yeah, definitely.
Hey, let me look. Nope.
Yeah, I'll eat like I don't even know how much rice. How much is in that trifecta rice?
Valley, you got this man explaining his.
2 cups of rice, 2 or 3 cups of rice, and like two bison patties, and then like some spinach.
And for fuel in your body, yeah.
Like a good, and then I'll put some like hot sauce or some teriyaki sauce.
Yeah, like my dietitian, Mike Dolce, he's like, you got it, because he would have carbs in it. He's like, you need to get out of the mindset that carbs are the enemy.
Yeah,
he's like, dude, if you have good carbs, it fuels everything you do.
Sure.
So like, I'll have like half a cup of white rice, or I'll have Ezekiel bread with an avocado in the morning, like, or grains and oats in the morning. Like, he's like, you got to get out of the mindset that carbs are the enemy.
Yeah, I don't know. It was back to Atkins thing. It was the thing that started people on this, like, don't eat carbs and make you fat thing.
Yeah.
And also, like, don't eat past a certain time at night, which makes you, none of that actually makes you fat. Like, eating shitty food often makes you fat.
Yeah.
And eating overindulging. And eating more than you should, more often than not, is going to make you fat.
Yep.
Right? So, like,
that's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's just eating a balance is always going to make you feel better. Because like, when people diet, especially when they cut calories, like, and they're trying to lose weight, they cut out a lot of like nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that are like making your body feel more efficient, making your brain feel clear, and that's why the diets become like, and also like your ability to be full and satiated is like not there because you don't have enough of things to make your brain say, oh, I'm good, right? So you're constantly like, you cut certain things out of your diet, like carbs are like, I just want to eat that fucking those chips, and you're more likely to break. When you have more balance, it's like it's more sustainable.
Yeah, I've had a balance since I got Mike Dolce, and I haven't cheated in I don't know how, fucking 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's all about balance. Because the diet
no cravings or nothing.
It's all about consistency.
Yeah, man.
If you can't be consistent with something and you do it for a few months and then you just revert, it's like, what's the fucking point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of gaining 40
It should be like slowly but surely should be your thought. Not like I need to do this in a month.
That's a marathon.
So it's like that's like people always like, oh, I need to lose weight right now. It's like start fucking 6 months ago. You know, like so it's just harder that way. People like the quick like.
You got any more, Chip?
You want any more? Or you good?
We got none of that. We got a really good one.
It's about wolves being.
Fucking
You want to see it?
Yeah. Wolves being killed?
Yeah. So
Wait, killed?
it was in the New York Times. Within 3 days, hunters killed over 200 wolves.
Oh, I thought it was just one hunter. I was really.
Oh no, but it's
I
not.
thought it was one kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still not that many hunters. I guess because they have to do control in this area in Wisconsin, but they went overboard and they feel like these guys are just executing them.
That sucks.
Yeah, because some hunters just love to kill.
Yeah.
Some. So I think that's what's happening here.
So originally they like pulled back on the protection of these wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you knew that.
Kill a few.
Yeah.
And these boys just went.
They went like almost 82% over the killing.
And now they're back on the endangered species list.
I guess some conservatives say that they are, but I don't know how we can actually tell.
216 wolves killed in less than 60 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Wait, they kill them because
everything.
of control?
Yeah, for control. Because
first,
people still have to kill them a certain amount.
What do you mean? Like, do they mess up? Like,
you don't want too many. Yeah, you don't want too many in there because
you don't want too many
animals.
And also, they kill like the big like alpha wolves because they'll take out the cubs all the time. So you take him out, it allows them to grow.
You need a certain amount of wolves there to kill the amount of deer and whatever animals there that mess up the vegetation. Yeah. So it's a balance, but these guys just went overboard and killed way too many, and it made the New York Times.
Can you eat wolf or?
Nah. I think you could eat pretty much anything, but
you can eat. You want to eat wolf? Not a diet wolf.
Eat it. I'm asking you.
I don't know about wolves, but I've seen people kill mountain lions and eat them, and they say they're delicious.
I think Rogan had mountain lions.
He talks about it, and I saw it on different articles.
But
too.
that's a cat.
Yeah.
What is?
I saw people eat coyote.
Dog, yeah. People eat coyote.
Yeah, people eat coyotes.
Yeah. You know it's a dog,
Yeah.
You know coyote and wolf is like that. Come on, I know. Yeah, I watched the Jungle Book. Yeah, okay.
They only eat them during times of scarcity, so they are edible.
Oh, so it's not like
not delicious
not like
meat.
A dog. Basically, it's a dog. That's where dogs come from.
And so people love dogs, unfortunately.
I heard pigs have personalities like dogs.
I've heard that too.
It's such a bummer.
Love Chappelle. They thought wolves were cats.
Yeah, he thought a wolf.
because they run in packs. And For like, you're alumni at East West Coast, LA County. So you heard teachers like, fuck. West LA County. You guys wear shirts were made out of wool. You think wolves are cats?
I went to West LA. We passed it.
That never happened. Bradley, we love you, man. You changed our lives, dude.
Yeah,
we love the gym. Keep the good fight, man.
Yeah. I love you, bro.
Yeah, man. You don't know him, but that's.